What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 101 of Powerline Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Lucas. Thanks for joining me. All right, got Daniel Spencer back on the show for another episode. Daniel's backstory is amazing. So if you want to listen to his entire backstory, go back a couple of episodes and listen to that. But what we dive into today is health and fitness. Daniel used to be 300 pounds. He had a bad drinking problem. He's kicked that now. He's 160 pounds. He's fully fit, jacked. You know, he kicked the booze and he's a coach now. Lots to learn from Daniel. I love the conversation. I hope this helps you. Hope this motivates you to get fit, have fun, and stay healthy out there. He's a lineman, so he gets it. He does the work that we do every day. So he knows how hard it is to make that transition from the perspective of a hand. So without further ado, let's get into episode 101 with Daniel Spencer. Peace. Daniel, so stoked over our last conversation. Love talking to you. Love starting to follow you now. You've been a total motivation, inspiration for me. And I know motivation only gets you so far, but I keep coming back to your content and keep going, damn, man, this guy's putting in the work. And you're helping me from a distance. And I know you're helping a lot of other guys get better. So just welcome to the show again. And I want to chat with you some more on this health and fitness side of things. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me back, man. It's been great. A lot of great response. A lot of new followers, people seeking advice, all sorts of things, safety, addiction, and health and fitness, foods.
Heck yeah.
Great.
Before we get going in this, I want to ask you one silly question. I'm going to start asking everybody this question just because I'm curious. If you started every day with an audience, just like a UFC fighter walks into the ring, what would your walk-in song be?
It's by Revolution, man. It's I'm drawing a blank now. It's Revolution. Anything by Revolution, man. When I was down, I started listening to them a lot. And they really got me through it, man. Sky's the limit. That's the one. Sky's the limit.
That's good. Okay. That's good. That's dope. So you talk about getting down. Let's give everyone listening, just in case they didn't hear the other episode. And if you didn't listen to Daniel's full story, go back a couple episodes, listen to Daniel's full story right now. If not, give him a little short snippet of kind of your backstory.
Yeah, my backstory, dealt with a lot of weed abuse. I say it's addiction. Looking back at it, addiction, alcoholism was a huge factor. Almost split my family apart. Been sober 12 years. In the trade for 20. It's gonna be 20 years this December. Started off as a groundman, went through the apprenticeship. Quit drinking right at the end of my apprenticeship. Started losing weight, got into health and fitness quite a bit, and gotten in 2 accidents. I was electrocuted as a 4th step, and just recently, April 27, 2021, I'm sorry, was in a vault explosion, switching error, 10 days in the hospital, 2 skin grafts, and right after that, I joined a coaching program online, and I haven't missed a day since, man. Getting online on Instagram, showing my daily process, my workouts, my foods, trying to give everybody encouragement and inspiration to try and better themselves.
So that's why I brought you on, is because not only have you done the work to get to total transformation, and you're a handsome looking dude too. They did some good work.
They did. Science is amazing.
But the other aspect is, for the audience that listens to this show, it's primarily line workers, right? you can directly relate to lifestyle. So what I want to shove down their throats right now is no excuses, right? No excuses, because
Right.
this is a guy, Daniel, lives your lifestyle 100%, shows up at a job every day that is very, very similar to the job that everyone listening to this goes and does every day. And we're constantly making excuses for. So like, you're one of those guys that made excuses, a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like in the past. So walk us
Very
through that transformation. And I know a lot of that must have been like we talked about before, a lot of it was like induced by, the accident that really made you like take a look at your life and go, okay, I got to make some changes. But kind of walk through what was going on, like like more mentally at that time to make that transition, make that switch.
Yeah, it was right after the accident for me mentally. I always try to be the safest worker. You know, try to call everybody out on the smallest things. Hey man, those aren't the right gloves for groundwork. Those aren't the department issued safety glasses. Button your shirt all the way up, right? Let me back you up while you're backing out of a parking spot. And after the accident, it was I had a lot of doubt, man. In my work habits, in my self talk, because I had a moment right before we were going to go to work where I knew the answer, I knew the solution to make it a safer work day. But I didn't speak on that, right? I had that conversation in my head. And when I was laying in the hospital, I told myself, your ego almost got you killed, brother. You didn't listen to your voice. You didn't listen to the consciousness, and you let your ego take over. And I told myself from this day on, I'm not going to do that again.
So talk about the importance of self-talk though. Like I chat on this, I talk about this a little bit, and so it's kind of like a twofold thing. Like you got to talk positive to yourself in order to get yourself through these things. But like, it's like also you got to feed yourself with positive things in order to talk positively about things, right? Like walk through that self-talk thing a little bit.
Yeah. It's, now what I tell myself is, you have an audience, right? You've been telling your story. If you slip up, that's going to give somebody else the opportunity to say, well, he missed a day. Maybe I can miss a day, right? If he skips on a workout, I could skip on a workout. The mindset is where it all starts. Your conscience always tells you what you need to do to change. When I was a lot heavier, I'd get up in the morning and I'd brush my teeth and I'd look at myself and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're not happy with the way you look. You have sleep apnea and you wake up in the middle of the night. I'd wake up hungover and I'd tell myself, you need to stop. You need to change your habits. But then I wouldn't, right? I'd always rationalize, well, I'm not going to the bar and drinking, I'm at home. Or, you'll start on Monday. And then Monday comes and you make an excuse and it never happens. So what I do now is just, I read, man. Something that I never used to do before was read books about, motivation, understanding yourself. Even like on the ride home, I don't even watch Netflix or YouTube. I really don't even know what's going on in world politics anymore, because I'm constantly listening to an audiobook or, try to do something to make myself more positive, right? Positive mindset, positive self-talk. I think a lot of us, or I know me before, I would look at myself and just kind of accept it, right? Like, you've tried and you failed, and you've tried and you failed. It's just time to accept it. But once you start creating that habit, it just becomes second nature. Like the last 2 days, I haven't really been lifting weights because I hurt my back. And inside of me, it's like killing me, man. It's killing me. Like, I want to go do it. I want to go lift weights, but I know I need to rest my back a little bit, you know?
Yeah. So surrounding yourself with any sort of positive influence, and just putting that pressure on yourself by surrounding yourself with positive is like one way to start making that mind shift. Cause like the change is always the hardest part. That's what I've always found anyway, is like actually making the change. Like the change happens for 2 or 3 days or a week or 2 weeks, but the consistency of changing that habit or changing that routine or whatever, changing that behavior, I guess it is. That's the hard part I speak for most people because I'm a human, and that's what's always been hardest for me, is like getting in that to consistency of, okay, this is the new behavior and not like resorting back to the old one. Yeah. That's what's always been toughest.
Yeah. I mean, you could do good all week, right? And then Saturday comes around or Friday night hits and your boys give you a call and, hey man, we're going to go meet up at the bar, or we're going to go, you know, do whatever. We're going to go golfing, have some beers on the golf course. But, you know, you've been sober all week, let's just say, you know, if it's sobriety you're struggling with, and then, you know, you break your promise to yourself, you know, to try and appease other people, right? Like, you're never going to progress. You know, falling back to those habits is what's going to keep you in that lower position.
So walk us through your routine then, to get a look, like your routine now, say like your daily routine. What are you doing to keep on the path then? Like first thing in the morning, what are you doing?
First thing, I get up, I take a photo of myself, you know, and then I have breakfast. You know, I have breakfast. I make overnight oats. I've been having it for months now. And I have breakfast. I have my book that I'm currently reading, a physical book that I'm currently reading with my journal. And I'll have my oats. I'll read. I read at least 10 pages in the morning. And then when I journal, I write about my regrets from the day before. You know, if I didn't come off correctly with somebody at work or with my wife or the kids, you know, something that I feel inside of me that I could have done better, right? I write that out, I reflect that, and then I write about what I'm hoping to gain for myself or for other people for the day. Then I go to work or work out here at my house. You know, I have a gym in my garage, and there's a gym at work. And so I get there and I work out for about 45 minutes to an hour. And that's where you kind of find more clarity in yourself. You know, pushing yourself physically, it creates like a trance, a meditative state. A lot of people have the doubt that, you know, how does that work? What I do when I work out is I reflect on my accident. You know, I reflect on when I was an alcoholic, or when I was drinking. When I was drinking, you know, my habits back then, how I used to treat people back when I was a teenager. And I keep thinking, you have to continuously work daily because you don't want to be like that anymore. After my workout, I post all that morning process on my Instagram page. You know, I try and get all that done before my work shift starts. So I'm always trying to post something positive on my selfie. I post my wake up time. So every morning you can see, man, this guy gets up at this time, and I post my workout. So you can see exactly, you know, what I'm doing that day, what I did, what did I get in.
So it's like an accountability thing for yourself, as well as hoping to be like a positive motivation for anybody out there. That's also been a motivation for me, for sure.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I also like what you said about journaling, because the journal thing for me has been like an off and on thing again, because it's like sometimes I sit down and I'm like, I just don't know what to write. Not like I'll start by saying that, like, I just don't know what to write in here right now. And then something comes usually, but it's like, I like what you said about reflecting on the day before, because that's going to be your like most current memory, and you're going to have the most emotional attachment to that. And then then like writing about how to like correct that in the next day, kind of like setting your intention for the day too. I like
Absolutely.
that. I like that. It's like you can choose right there whether to go into your day with a positive mindset or a negative mindset,
Yeah.
You can kind of get
Yeah.
that, you can kind of get all that negative out. Like if there was something from the day before that was like negative or distracting, you can kind of get all that out and then choose to be positive and write that. I like that. That's cool.
Absolutely. And that's one thing, that's one of the reasons why I do it. Everything that's negative, there's nobody up when I'm up, so I don't really talk about it verbally, but writing it down, it's one form of getting it out. Because if you hold that in and, the first person that does something you don't really agree with, you're going to let all that negativity out onto them. Yeah. Right. And it's totally off topic. It has nothing to do with them. You just ruin somebody else's day or morning,
True.
You're not going to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We always try and project onto other people what's going on in our lives, just trying to get it. That's a good point. How often do we go up to other people and just dump all of our shit on them, and they're probably dealing with their own stuff that they need to get rid of.
Yeah.
They don't want your BS. Huh?
Yeah. And, throughout the day, something might happen, or I might get a phone call from my wife or a family member and tell me something that's going on with them, or, something that I didn't really like. And I start getting these feelings, right? Like, man, all this pent up anger or whatever, disagreement. And I tell myself, you need to get this negative energy out some way, so I'll do some push-ups or something, some burpees, try and get that negative energy out in a positive way. Or what I do is, I'll just try and give a compliment to a total stranger, man. Somebody's just standing there, I do it almost every day coming off the train after work, just a simple compliment, hey man, that's a nice hat, or, cool shoes or something, like they don't expect it from a total stranger. You're going to uplift their spirits a little bit, and knowing that you made somebody feel a little bit better, it's going to help you feel a little bit better.
100%. I don't think that there's enough of that, actually. Everything's so like self-involved. We're so self-involved. Everything starts with I with us, even our thoughts. Like I heard Simon Sinek talk about this recently, just talk about even, you go to the self-help section, it's all like about self. You go to the self-help section, you read a self-help book, it's all to like, how do I get better? But there's not enough helping other people. And it's through helping other people that we really in turn help ourselves. Right. So
absolutely,
it's like a mindset shift. So I like that. If you could take that into your day, even just a simple, like showing up at a job site with your crew, like how much better can you make life for other people, and in turn going to make your life better as well, just by being positive.
Yeah. And just even asking a simple question, man, hey, how was your night last night, and not waiting for your turn to talk about what you did great or whatever, just actually listening. And
100%. That's a big part of listening, right? Not sitting there trying to formulate a response that's from yourself. Again, it's actually listening to what they say, pulling that thread further, like, well, tell me more, like why, or, get deeper with them, and then just sit and hold space for them to talk. I like that.
Yeah. That's still one of the things I struggle with, it's hard, because it's like, man, I know what works for me, this will work for you, but you can't always just be like that.
What do your workouts look like? Doing the job that you do, you've probably tried a bunch of different types of workouts or training styles, this, that, whatever. What's working for you? What do you like? What's worked for you? Like knowing the job that you do every day, and it's like, what's your workouts look like?
I usually just do like splits. I'll do chest and triceps one day, back and biceps. I'll do shoulders and abs. I'll do legs, one whole session. And then I kind of just start all over, that's kind of like 4 or 5 days worth of work, and I'll just start all over again. I usually stick to, I used to do high rep. high rep, lightweight. My shoulder was pretty bad a few months ago, so I was really taking care of that. But now I'm trying to get into more, a little bit more strength training, right? More weight, push more weight, 12 to 15 reps, still keeping the same splits. I was trying to do like a rest day, active rest day on like Saturday or Sunday, right? Just some light cardio, something to keep the heart going. I don't do a lot of cardio, like running or biking or anything, which I need to do more of, Absolutely. But the results actually, man, they come from the meals, They come from meal prepping, tracking your foods, making sure that you have the right macronutrient limits, right? Grams of protein, fat, and carbs. That's very specific to different body types and weights, but it's just showing up, man. Being consistent, doing it daily.
Talk about. I love that. Before we get into, I want to talk about the food and working in the kitchen as well, but talk a little bit more about the differences in training styles. Like you even mentioned a couple within even like isolation exercises, like back and by or chest and try, whatever. But talk about the differences between, going for strength, like higher weight versus volume, etc. Like what are you trying to achieve by doing those different things?
Well, for going lifting heavier, right? Lower rep counts, it's going to do more strength training, build your strength up. And when I do higher reps, lighter weights, I try and keep the heart rate up a whole lot more, right? To me, it's going to burn more calories. Muscle definition, it's going to create more muscle definition. So it's just, for me, that's what I'm shooting for. Like I used to be almost 300 pounds, and we did a lot of strength training when I was in high school for football. And I think that's where I kind of got some of the shoulder problems from before. It's just bro lifts all the time, right? Let's push it, let's max out, rep it out, get new PRs every day. But now I'm working out by myself. I like the tempo of it. I like the tempo of, lighter weights, more reps.
What's a range when you talk about more reps? Like what's a range for that? Lighter weight, more reps.
Try and reach exhaustion, like right around 20 to 30 reps, right? Gotcha. Finding a weight that's comfortable enough where right around 28, 29 reps, you're struggling to get it up. You want to reach near exhaustion towards the end of your rep range. If you're getting, like, let's say you're doing 8 reps and you're pushing a weight and you do 8, then you do 12, 13, you need to add some more weight. The progressive overload is what's really going to build your muscles up.
So if I was just starting, like some guy, a couple 100 pounds, maybe 20 pounds overweight, 30 pounds overweight, I want to start. We'll talk about the food choices and how that plays into it in a second, but like, I want to start. I'm going to the gym now, whatever, heading to the gym. What am I doing?
I'll probably start you off with like body weight stuff at first, right? Just to get your body used to the movements, push-ups, assisted push-ups, sit-ups, body weight squats, lunges, stuff like that. And then slightly work you into putting weight on. Arms and shoulders, it's kind of hard to do body weight stuff. So dumbbells, right? Start you off with dumbbells, stuff like that. And probably try and get you in and out of the gym, no more than an hour,
Yeah.
Set up the workouts for because you spend 2 hours at the gym, it's confusing already, especially for somebody who starts. It's intimidating, so.
Yeah. I've always found what's worked for me when I'm starting something, and maybe you can attest to this as well, like, is how hard you go at the start. Like I usually try to like go slow. It's been difficult to force myself to do that at times, like not just dive in everything all at once, goes like cold turkey on, things, and dive right into everything full blast. But I've just trained myself now to walk slowly into things. Like you said, start with body weight. If you're doing that for a couple of weeks, and then make some diet changes, or just make a few diet changes. Like, I don't know, start with like little things. Is that what your process was like as well? Or did you just like, let's go full blast?
Yeah, I kind of went full blast when I first started. When I joined the gym, it was HIIT style training, right? High intensity interval training. And it was nonstop, man. It was 45 minutes of pure hell. And it was,
Did you find that
diet plan?
Did you find that helped for like starting with something like HIIT, or?
I don't think so. I wouldn't really suggest it, because I started on Monday, and then by Wednesday, man, everything hurts, everything hurt to the point where it's past soreness, this is painful.
That's what a lot of people don't understand about like muscle soreness. They think it's your muscles that are sore and that you've ripped your muscles, where that's true. You've torn some muscle, but it's also nerve. Like it's your central nervous system. Your nerves are what make you sore, right? Not your muscles.
Yeah.
So it's actually your nerves that you've hurt more than your muscle. If you go like too ham.
And then most people that start off, they don't really know how to recover right. And recovery is a whole big part of that is nutrition, right? Nutrition and supplements will help. And then they're going to get discouraged, You're going to start off hard and go hard. And then by your first week, you can barely walk. It's discomforting. Like, people don't want to do that. But, if you have the right coach and right training, right information, they'll be able to start you off at a decent pace, show you how to recover right, and then build you up to, going ham.
So if you're wanting to start, how much do you recommend finding a coach versus just trying to start and do everything on your own?
I would recommend it 100%, 100%, because if you're brand new to it, you're going to have to face that fear of, not really a fear, but the intimidation, right? Like, you walk into a big old gym and half the people in there are already jacked and the other half are just starting also. You don't really know where to start. Most people will start at the cardio machines, and then they'll stay on the treadmill or the bikes for 45 minutes, and they'll go play with the weights for a little bit until they see somebody else that's like already feels more experienced, and they don't want to be in their way or nothing. So, they're going to end up leaving. I think a coach it's key. It's 100% beneficial.
I got to agree with you there. And to the point of, we have no problem spending $100 a week on booze, another $50 a week on energy drinks, another $50 a week on the taco stand at the gas station. Like, I don't know, you add all that up, and it's amazing what you can save to put towards your health and actually get some proper coaching in doing that, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, if you hit a coach up and they go, okay, well, these are my rates, this is my plan, and you look at it and you're like, man, that seems expensive. But you're not looking at the worth, you're just looking at the cost. The worth on the other end of it is you're going to have knowledge of nutrition, workouts, right?
I think if you just sit down for a second and go, like, just itemize your costs, like your spend, like just sit down with nobody around, like make that your first morning routine, your first day morning routine. Just sit down and itemize and be real on what you spend on abusing your health versus what, and just look at that. Just like total that number up, and it's going to be like that. It's going to be $100 plus a week on booze. It's going to be $100 plus a week on junk food or food that you just don't need to eat. Even if it's not junk food, you just don't need to eat it. And once you put that list together, you're going to look at that and go, holy shit, like I spend $500 or $600 or $1,000 a freaking month on abusing myself. Let's just take that for 1 month and put that towards my health. Let's just try 1 month. Find a coach, go, coach, I'm giving you 1 month. Here.
Yeah, 1 month, dude. And I have messages like this all the time. People are interested. I mean, if you take every day, I'm going to post a workout. You could screenshot that and implement it into your day. I'm giving it to you for free.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm giving you what works for me for free. I post my foods every day. I post my workout, and then they go, "Hey, man, I really want to hit these changes." And I go, "Okay, here's my pricing." And they're like, "Oh, dude, I can't do that." I'm okay. Well, how many times a week do you eat out? How much do you spend at the bar? Right? Same thing. It's like if you add all those numbers up, you hire me as a coach, you're gonna benefit 2 or 3 times that, because you're gonna be meal prepping. You're gonna save time and money right there.
100%.
It's but I think it's probably maybe ego, sticker shock. Who knows? Maybe these people just can't plain afford it. But you have to set your priorities.
They're also not,
what you really want.
They're not ready here, to make the switch.
Yeah.
That they're wanting to make the switch because they're unhappy. And I'm only saying this because I've been there. You're unhappy. You want to make the switch really, really, really bad. So you try little things expecting big results. Or you expect, because we're a microwave generation, you expect results a lot quicker than they actually happen as well. Results take time, and I'm only saying this because I'm in the middle of it. They're taking time, and it's a commitment, and it's a hard commitment to make, but it's a commitment. You got to stick to it. But I think that's what we don't. They're either just not ready for that full commitment.
Yeah, and I mean, so then what do they revert to, right? They'll revert to a fat diet, either keto or intermittent fasting or carnivore or something like that, and they'll work. I'm not saying they don't work, but they're not sustainable. The minute you go back to eating the way you're used to, you're going to gain that weight back, and your body is in shock, thinking that, you lost all this weight already, and he deprived us. So now everything you gain back, it's going to hold on to, thinking that it's going to take, this guy's going to take all this. Yeah, it's going to go through it again.
Let's talk about diet then. What do you do? How did you learn this? And it can't be easy. Is it easy to track macros? Do your method?
I think it's easy. I feel it's easy. It's just it takes a little bit of time. This morning, I made a French toast, and I was just getting everything in the app, just putting it in the app, it takes time, but once you kind of have the way my app is set up, it keeps the history in there of the foods that you usually eat. So once you start on your basic meal plan, you can just add this to this day, add this to this day. You can just hit, like for me, it's chicken and rice or potatoes for my carbs, and vegetables. So every day it's already there in my history. I just go lunch, hit chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice, breakfast, chicken and potatoes. And it takes a little bit of time, but I mean, the results are undeniable. What I was doing before when I first quit drinking, and that's a huge one too, drinking your empty calories. Guys will go to Starbucks and get a Frappuccino or something. It's full of sugar. You might feel good for 20 minutes, but right after that, you're going to crash. You don't have complex carbs that are going to sustain you till lunchtime. You'll get a pastry and a Frappuccino, and you get a big old sugar dump.
Yeah.
So yeah, before it was, I quit drinking. I lost a bunch of weight already just from, I tallied it up one time, man. It was like 1,800 calories in alcohol alone. Wow. So then after that, I did a fad diet, right? I did Special K for breakfast and lunch. And then I'd go home and gorge on whatever my wife made for dinner because I was starving all day. It's unsustainable. Then when I started really getting into that transformation camp, they limited a whole lot of foods, man. They were like, no sugars, no fruit. It's lean protein and brown rice or quinoa and vegetables. That's it. And the diet sucked. I lost a lot of weight. I got skinny. But once I joined this program that I'm coaching now, learning macros, the foods are pretty much wide open, man. You know, you will have a set amount of proteins, set amount of carbs, and a set amount of fat. So it means you want to have cheese on your hamburger, right? That's possible. Just understanding that, you know, you have to read the nutrition label, right? That's one thing we don't really do a whole lot of is read that nutrition label and see how much actual sugars are in there, right? How much grams of fat is this protein? It says, you know, high protein, but what's high protein to them might not be high protein to you. Making sure you get enough protein is key, because that's what your body it works the hardest to try and break down the protein, right? So the more protein you eat, the more your body's working, you're going to burn more calories. Complex carbs is another one that people are scared of, right? I can't eat rice because it's going to make me gain weight. No, it's not. It's going to give you energy. You know, it's those added sugars that, yeah, it's essential, you know? Once I started learning how to count the macros, and, you know, the foods are way better, man. You know, like I'm having fruits, you know, I just put on my Instagram, I'm making my own pizzas, cheeseburgers, I'm having tacos, you know, burritos. I'm enjoying the foods that I used to eat that would make me gain weight. Now it's just understanding there's a limit to it all, you know, and you can adjust those limits for if you're trying to gain lean muscle or cut fat, you know.
So let's walk through this a little bit more granular. How do you start with that then? Like, what's the equation to start figuring out macros? And I know it's not simple, but like, what's the, you know, guy just wants to start down this road.
So the way it used to be, you know, I've always heard before is, you know, 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight, right? So let's say a guy's 250 pounds and he wants to be 200 pounds. Start off with 200 grams of protein, right? And then if you set yourself for a calorie limit, I've heard it different ways before, where let's just say you're going to have a 2,000 calorie diet, right? You're going to set yourself up with 200 grams of protein for the day, and everything else, all your other calories after that, you can fill with carbs or fats. It's true. You will lose weight if you're in a calorie deficit. You're going to lose weight. Not eating enough protein, it's going to be counterintuitive, right? That's why tracking your foods is really
important. Protein. How do you get enough protein? Like I try this, and that's almost one of the hardest parts, is to like get 200 grams of protein in your face in a day.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot, and it can get expensive. Yeah. But there's, you know, there's carbs that have proteins in them, right? Fats that have proteins. So making sure you have enough of those. I mean, you're not just going to eat 200 grams of chicken breast a day and, you know, be satisfied.
How much do you supplement versus whole food as well?
I try not to supplement too much. I have protein powder that I use in my oats in the morning. And then I do a post-workout protein shake. And usually at the end of the day, I'll have maybe 10 grams of protein left. And that's just the old fat guy in me, man. I'm starting to make desserts every night, you know. So I'll make like a protein ice cream at the end of the night. So what I'm trying to do is eat more whole foods than anything, right? Because it's going to make you feel fuller longer. Your body's going to work harder to break that stuff down.
Gotcha.
But in the morning, right, at the very least, you know, I tell people, you know, you have to have a meal in the morning, and they look at their macros and they're going to say, man, I can't eat the whole plate of food in the morning. I got to go, right? I got to get up and go. Protein shake, right? First thing, protein shake in the morning. That's going to break that fast. Your body's going to start trying to break down that protein. It's going to maintain the lean muscle that you've been building, right? So for proteins, it's very essential.
100%. Talk through the rest of the ingredients, and like carbs and fats. What's the percentage should you be? Just like fill the rest with carbs and fats, or do you go lean more towards one or the other?
If your goal is to lose body fat, right, you want to have that at the lower percentage range. The way I do mine is I eat more carbs and then proteins and low fat. That's probably the best way to do it. If you're trying to gain more muscle, then you can have a little bit more fat. The fat's it's not bad for you, right? It's going to help you with brain function and doing like low intensity cardio. You burn more fat than carbs, right? When you do the heavy lifting and like HIIT training, running, right? That's where you're going to burn more carbs. So you might want to have your carbs up a little bit higher.
Gotcha. How do you find that balance? Like, do you have a baseline? Like, you talked a little bit about chicken and rice. So the question is kind of, do you have a baseline of foods that you just kind of like stick to? And then you also talk about, cheeseburgers and tacos and things, like getting actual foods that we want to eat and being able to eat those. Like, how do you find that balance of like eating the things I want to eat versus eating the things that are necessary for me to eat to hit my macros and essential nutrients?
For me, it's basically time. It's how much time I have. Like during the work week, I'll cook 3 pounds of chicken every 2 to 3 days, right? Bag of potatoes, or not a bag, but like I'll cook about 3 or 4 pounds of potatoes, and that'll be like my meal preps at work for the week. Or rice, right? I'll do like 3 cups of rice at a time. And usually on the weekends is when I play around more with new recipes and stuff. Pre-tracking it in my app is another way to do it, right? I have a lot of those ingredients already here, like in the freezer or in the pantry. So if I'm sitting at work, like during my lunchtime, I'll go to whatever I'm planning on eating tomorrow, and I'll just try and add it into my app, right? Like if I'm going to have a hamburger, I get, it's 94% lean beef, right? 94% lean beef patties. Keto bread is like keto buns is what I'm using, because they're low carb, low calories. So I'll put that in the app and some fat-free cheese, and, I'll add some potatoes on the side, depending on how much carbs I have out of the bread, I'll have some potatoes. So for me, and I suggested to everybody on my team is, preload what you plan on eating for the day, for the next day, right? You have it all in your app. You make it easy. If you don't have your meal with you and you're trying to look at your app and say, man, what I got to eat? I have to eat right now. I'm hungry. That's going to lead to an irrational choice, and you're going to end up breaking your diet.
Right. Interesting. I've also seen you dragging an air fryer around with you everywhere. Give us some tips and tricks on meal prepping. And I know you work out of an underground utility van, that sort of thing. So you may have that luxury, but talk about the air fryer and like some tips and tricks.
Oh man,
meal prepping.
The air fryer, that's the second most important tool, right? For real.
Yeah. For
meal prepping, for weight loss and tracking your foods, you got to have a food scale. Right, that's key. You have to. If people say, I'm going to figure out in my head, there's no way. You have to have a food scale. You have to measure it out, right? That's why I'm saying it's time consuming. For the air fryer, man, it's you get all the same flavors of fried foods, without the added oils, without, there's some risk to frying foods and stuff, but the health benefits are amazing. I actually bought another one. It shows up on the doorstep, and I was like, guess what it is? Can air frying? Like, that's...
You need to get sponsored by air fryer, I think.
I need to tag them more on my Instagram.
100%.
Yeah, it starts off, one of my buddies at work was telling me, the microwave, right? The microwave is that quick reheat. I haven't looked into it much, but he was telling me that, it radiates the food. It kills your nutrients, right? So I have a microwave on my work truck. I don't even use it anymore. It's just all air fryer. Cooking spray, right? Spray your foods. You can get like a fried chicken. I've done it before. It's pretty awesome, man. You get your chicken breast, your chicken cutlets, dip them in some egg white, cornflakes, right? Then roll them in some cornflakes, hit them with some cooking spray in the air fryer. Crunchy chicken, man. The biggest one for me is the potatoes, dude. Potatoes. I mean, everybody loves French fries. Everybody loves French fries, man. And so that's one of my biggest go-tos. I found that for what you get from potatoes versus like white rice or brown rice, you'll get a whole lot more potatoes on your plate for the same amount of carbs as having less rice, you know.
Really?
Let's just like,
That's interesting.
yeah, like six ounces of potatoes will give you about 25 to 30 grams of carbs, where 3.5 ounces of rice is going to give you the same amount of carbs.
Interesting. So picking the thing, like if you're a hungry dude, picking the thing that's more satiating, like potatoes, going to benefit.
Absolutely, man. And then, you know, I've been eating a ton of leafy greens lately. You know, when I first started the program, I was like, I don't have time to cook or make vegetables. I wasn't eating them, you know, and I'd be starving, dude, you know, burning fat. I don't say, you know, I'm hungry between meals. I tell myself, you're not hungry, bro. You're burning fat, you know, that positive mindset, you know.
Heck yeah.
So I've been eating a lot of more leafy greens, broccoli, cabbage, you know, just as filler, you know, and it makes a nasty recipe in your stomach, man. And people around you, they don't appreciate it too much, but you know, at least you're not as hungry, you know.
Heck yeah. It's not about them.
But yeah. Seasoning, man, the seasoning is key, you know.
What do you use?
I use basic stuff, you know, salt, pepper, garlic for pretty much everything. My potatoes, it's a trip because we have so many like lower seasonings that are kind of low in the pantry, you know. So I'll get like an old garlic powder shaker and I'll just mix it up, you know. And my wife will go to use it and she's like, "What the hell is this stuff? This isn't what's in here," you know.
You've made your own special concoction.
I do, man. I do. It's awesome. For potatoes, man, if you guys are gonna do that, make your own seasoning for your potatoes. Throw a little baking powder in there. Throw some baking powder in there in your seasoning, and then sprinkle it on your potatoes. Put them in the air fryer. It makes them. It makes like a crunchy, crispy skin on there, man. It's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I might have to go make some breakfast after this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all flavor, you know. Once people will say, I got to eat this plain food, you know, I have to go on a diet and eat the food, it's not going to be good. It's just learning how to season it right, you know, the technique for cooking it, you know. I you know, growing up, I would always see people, you know, boil broccoli or boil vegetables or something like that, right? The air fryer, it's put it in the air fryer, it's going to roast them, it's going to add another level of flavor, you know, smokiness. Kale chips is one thing that I've been messing with a lot, you know.
Interesting.
It's potato chips, man, you know, you can cut your potatoes up, put them in there, make chips.
I've always had a love-hate relationship with potatoes. Like I'm not a fan if they're not like crunchy and, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
They need to be crispy, like have a crisp on the outside. I hate like boiled potatoes. Like that's my grandfather used to just boil potatoes. They'd throw them on the, I was like, they're so gross. It's so gross. It's got to be crispy for me, man. I got to have some crunch.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was one of the other guys on the coaching program that I'm on. He actually told me that. That's why I started eating more cabbage. He's like, bro, cut up some cabbage. It'll add a nice crunch to your foods, you know. And I mean cabbage almost every day now.
That's something we don't think about too, right? Like, okay, why do you like potato chips? Yeah, they're flavorful, they're carbs, but you like that crunch too, right? It's kind of like about that crunch. So try to replicate that. I like that idea. Like throw some bacon spice on there, or whatever, bacon seasoning to help for that, some cabbage in there to help with the crunch. Kind of trick your brain, trick your tongue.
Right.
Get creative.
Yeah, get creative, man. That's what's going to make the foods fun, you know, and that's what's going to make your diet successful. Right? It's finding alternatives, even down to like simple stuff like ketchup, you know, barbecue sauces. You go and get Sweet Baby Ray's, which tastes delicious, but, for one serving of it, there's, 20 grams of added sugar. There's other sauces out there that are 10 calories per serving and, maybe 3 grams of sugar, and they'd be like, oh yeah, it doesn't taste the same. Motherfucker, you don't want to be the same.
Exactly.
Exactly. You're tired of being the same, man. You compromise and you'll see the changes.
What's going to drop weight quick? If a guy wants to go like, fuck, I need to get rid of 20 quick in order to get myself right and get going here. I got to drop some weight quick. What's going to do that?
Definitely got to be in a calorie deficit. You have to track your foods, right? That's the most important part, is tracking your food and staying in a calorie deficit, working out. You don't have to kill yourself at the gym if you understand that you're staying in a calorie deficit. Having the right macros is game changer, man. Like the program I was doing before, like I said, it was skinny. If you're looking for aesthetics, macros is the way to go. I mean, you can lose weight just by being in a calorie deficit. You can eat Oreos all day. If you only eat 1,600 calories of Oreos, you're going to lose weight, right? But you're not going to feel good.
Yeah.
You're definitely not going to look good.
So macros, including making sure you got enough protein and resistance training, like progressive overload.
Progressive overload. I would say add some cardio in there, 3 days of progressive overload, weightlifting,
like low intensity cardio. Like if I'm trying to I'm overweight, obviously, so I'm not going to go like running, say, or sprinting or whatever. Maybe I can just walk. So you're saying like just walking at a good clip, good pace. And some hills in there.
Absolutely. A fast paced walk. Something where it's going to get your heart rate elevated, and you can still keep a decent conversation.
Gotcha.
You don't want to be like hurting in your chest and gasping for air. Like I said, it's painful, and then it's going to be discouraging. Yeah. But I mean, if you're looking into, hey man, I need to lose 20 pounds right away, most guys are going to try and do some like keto, right? Or take some diet pills or something, and you're going to get the results, but not having the knowledge of, how to track your foods, how to eat the right foods to stay under a calorie deficit, it's most likely you're going to gain it back after whatever goal you're trying to reach. Like summer's in 2.5 months, right? I need to lose 40 pounds for summer. You could, but come September, you're going to fall back. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's bulking season. No, man. Understand your foods, understand the macros, and there's no bulking season. It's shirts off all year long.
Heck yeah. So you got a strenuous job. You're working out lots. You're putting in a ton of work. What's your recovery routine look like? What are you doing to look after yourself?
I get this all the time from my friend, man. He's like, dude, you don't sleep enough. For me, the recovery is in the foods, man. Right. The supplementation. I take creatine and glutamine every morning, right? I'll have that in like, I'll do like a pre-workouts. I take a couple different pre-workouts, right? One has no caffeine and one does. But which either one I'm having, or just like a hydration pack. I'll have creatine, a scoop of creatine, a scoop of glutamine in there. The creatine is going to be beneficial because it's going to draw water into your muscles. So you got to make sure you're drinking at least a gallon of water a day, right? The creatine is going to draw water into your muscles, which if you're eating the foods and supplementing with like multivitamins and stuff like that, it's going to draw those nutrients into your muscles. It's going to help them rebuild quicker, right? It's going to help you feel less sore and recover quicker, which is going to get you back in the gym quicker.
And there's a building phase with creatine, correct? I listened to a couple of podcasts, and Andrew Huberman has for anyone else that wants to just dive in on creatine. He's got a couple good episodes on just where he talks about supplementation of creatine. But there's like a building phase, so it's not like you can just take creatine on Wednesday and then next Wednesday take it again. You got to like take it consistently, correct?
Yeah, take it consistently, every day. I mean, your body naturally produces it, but just not enough to be beneficial. But yeah, I mean, I don't skip it, don't just like, you're going to take it for 3 weeks and then, you don't need to do like, what do you think, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off or whatever. I've been taking it every day for the past 3 or 4 years.
That's what the new studies are showing as well. They're showing that you can just take it consistently and it doesn't hurt. It's actually one that you can take regularly.
Yeah, there's no need to cycle on or off of it. 5 grams is like the minimum. I've heard different people or different studies saying, if you go really hard, have another 5 grams at the end of your workout or whatever. Just make sure you drink enough water, man, because there's days where I don't drink enough water. And when I go to the restroom, you can tell,
Yeah.
You can definitely tell. But
what else do you do for recovery? Do you do like stretching routines, calisthenics, ice baths, anything like that?
I don't, man. I don't do enough of that stuff. I did a 7-day trial at this gym I was checking out, and going in the sauna every day. I was hitting the sauna every day after the workout, man, and I felt amazing. People say that you need to sweat a lot to get a good workout. I really don't sweat a whole lot when I'm lifting weights, but I'd go into that sauna for 15 minutes and I'm dripping sweat, man. It's beneficial, right? You get toxins out, and but for recovery, as far as muscle soreness and stuff like that, post-workout shakes are key. Post-workout shakes are key, and that's one thing that I had never really done before. I'm with the supplement company now, and I have a whole post-workout stack that I use. It's a fast assimilating protein with the glycogen restore, right? Because the glycogen is what we burn when we're working out. So a lot of times after your workout, you'll feel drained and exhausted. Your body needs a carb, dude. Your body needs carbs right after, right? So I take a scoop of that and a scoop of quick assimilating protein. And dude, I feel after 10 minutes after taking that, I'm ready to keep going. So yeah, getting the protein in right after your workout is key. Just because you go to the gym and you work out hard doesn't mean you earn the burritos or the hamburgers or French fries. You gotta feed your body right after the workout.
Like you said, it's in the kitchen that most of the gains are made, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you're just because I want to respect time here. What are you doing now? You're doing some coaching on the side as well. So if a guy wants to reach out to you and get some help with either eating right or workout routine, workout program or whatever, can they do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I started doing in May. May 1st, I started. It started with my own transformation, right? When I started, I was about 200 pounds. And the program that I coach is the one that I implement every day. I got shredded, dude. I got down from 197 to 150, 153 lean, bro.
How long did it take you?
That was from May to October.
Dude.
Yeah, like October 2nd was when I was at the leanest, man.
Just made the switch and committed.
Yeah, staying on point, right? Not going over all my macros. And that's one thing that, where guys, they hit me up, I put them on the team, right? And whatever your weight is, right? I'll calculate your macros out, your amount of proteins, carbs, and fats. I set up customized workouts for whatever your skill level is. I have clients that are, 160 pounds to, I have one client started, he was 475 pounds, and so I set the workouts up, right? Set your macros. I tell everybody, the foods are totally up to you. The foods are open. I'll give you what I suggest, tips and tricks, right? Meal prepping, recipes, and being consistent. Every day you're going to have a task, right? Every day you're going to have a workout. I usually throw in like 2 days of light cardio and an active rest day, which is like a basic walk or something like that, right? But at least 3 or 4 days of lifting weights, and having a gym isn't necessary at all, right? I set everybody up with basic body weight stuff to start with. Like I said, getting used to those movements at first is going to be, first of all, it's going to get your mind right. It's going to get your mind used to the workouts, used to just getting your body moving daily. Instead of just throwing you right into the gym and you're like, man, I've never been in here before. I don't know how to use machines. All these dudes are already jacked. Let's get you some confidence building. You can do it in the comfort of your home, in your garage, whatever, right? Body weight stuff. Start to get you to burn fat. It's going to gain your confidence. It's going to make you motivated. We do weigh-ins every week. I tell everybody weigh in, take a photo, right? Front, side, and back. Every week and don't jump on the scale every day, right? Don't jump on the scale every 2 days, because everybody wants to see that number drop. And then when you don't, right, you might just be holding more water that day, or you're eating so much protein you haven't taken a shit in 2 days.
Yes.
100%. Right? And that's where supplements come in too. Every day I take a Opti Greens, and that helps with digestion, right? It helps with nutrient absorption, right? Which it's going to help with recovery, and digestion is going to help clean you out. We don't step on the scale every day, right? Friday morning, before you eat, after you use the restroom, jump on the scale, put it in the app, take a photo, put it in the app. I have team meetings every weekend, right? And we talk about mindset. We go over what you didn't do, right? What didn't you do that made you successful that week? And then we'll talk about your wins, right? Your weight loss, your body composition's changing. Your mood is better, right? Let's first tackle what you didn't do, just like in my journaling, right? What are you regretting? Let's get that out of the way. Now let's focus on where we're going to progress. And yeah, man, guys are, one of my biggest wins as a coach was one of my clients. He was like, yeah, I want to lose so much weight. I'm drinking like at least a 6-pack a day. And after like the first week, man, we had our first meeting. The first meeting that he had with me, and he goes, bro, I got rid of all my alcohol. He goes, I cleaned it out. He goes, I'm not drinking no more. Dude, for me, that was huge, man. Another client, he was pretty down on himself, low self-esteem, zero confidence. And I like to say I'm not a nutrition coach or, a diet coach. I'm a life coach. I've been through being, slightly depressed, loneliness, 300 pounds, right? Low self-esteem, alcoholism. I blew myself up, regret, self-doubt. And the program that I'm on right now, the program that I coach, it's a mindset program. It's to create an unbreakable mindset, to create an indomitable spirit, to build the confidence that, the trials that you have throughout the day they're nothing, because we start off the day with wins for ourselves. I get up every morning, I make my side of the bed, I read, I journal, I eat something healthy. That's 4 or 5 wins already for myself. Instead of getting up in the morning, hitting the snooze, dreading that you're going to have to go to work. All day you're at work thinking, man, I got to go to the gym at 6. Man, I don't know what to eat. I got to go to the gym at 6 still. Then you talk yourself out of it. We kill all that, man. We get up in the morning and the first thing you're going to do is take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Take care of your nutrition. Right into a workout. you've already knocked the hardest part of your day out, self-care. Everything else is for everyone else, man. Everything I do after I take care of myself in the morning, I'm trying to give to everybody else.
Yeah, you've taken care of yourself and set your intention for the day to be a positive intention. And so you're going into the day in a positive influence.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to be such a negative person, selfish. I'm doing this for me. Like you said, right? Those self-help books. Me, how am I going to help me? No, man, how can you help somebody else? Right? One of the things that we have at the end of our safety book, the injury and illness prevention program, one of the top rules in there is the role of the employee, right? Is to take care of yourself, your coworkers, and the public. Right? And I always say in that order, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of your brothers, and you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else beyond that.
Yeah, 100%. So if a guy is sold on this and they're like, heck yeah, I need Daniel's help, how do they reach out to you to get your help with this?
Yeah, DM me on Instagram. I think that's the best spot.
What's your handle again?
Reps and double time. Facebook, Daniel Spencer, right? I got a public Facebook that's open. Message me either way. I think a lot of us try and figure it out on our own, right? And then we end up failing. We end up discouraged. One of those, I think we mentioned this last time with mental health, dropping that ego and finally realizing, man, like, yeah, I do need help. I don't know how to do this on my own. I need to seek help from somebody that's been through it, somebody that knows about it, somebody that's experienced it. I can't stop, I get messages every day. Like there's days, man, I get up and I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. I want to go back to sleep. And then I get a message on my Instagram from the night before, and it's like, brother, thank you. You're an inspiration. That's what fuels me now, man. That's what keeps me going is the audience. Everybody's got a story to tell, and your story is going to help somebody. You're writing the next chapter in your book.
Yep. And we talk about physical fitness all the time. And then we use the term mental health instead of the term physical health or mental fitness. I like this term mental fitness and treating mental health like mental fitness, like physical fitness. So the example I heard was, if you're going to go to the gym and you're going to work on your physical fitness, you're going to get fit. Some days in the gym, you have a bad day, right? You show up, you don't have the strength, you're not lifting right, you're tired, whatever it is, you put in some reps and you walk away from that session like, whatever, one day, I showed up at least, right? And you don't even think twice about it. So why not think the same way about mental health, mental fitness? Like, so you had a bad day. You showed up. You showed up for your day. You had some depressive thoughts, or you just like weren't in the right headspace. You had brain fog, whatever it was. Just shrug it off. It was just a bad day. Don't think of it. Yeah. Don't think of it like it's the end of everything. Go into the next day. Try to like get back into your routine. Set your intentions for the day. Deal with that negativity in the morning. Switch to positive and go into the next day. That's what you would do physically. Why not try to do that mentally as well? I just heard that and I thought about it. It's a good way to represent physical health and mental health. Start talking about them as physical fitness, mental fitness, because it's training. It's training.
It is, man. A temporary defeat mentally, it's not a permanent position. Right. And it's just, that's a great way of putting it, right? Mental fitness.
Just working on your fitness, just working on your mental fitness.
Yeah.
Reading books, staying positive, surrounding yourself with good people, put yourself in the right situation to make you prosper versus, make you go the other direction. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with, right? Like the Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules to Life, like you're a direct reflection of the 5 closest people around you. So start changing those people out. You don't have to get rid of them in your life. Like if they're family, you don't have to cut them out of your life completely. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Just start spending less time with them because they're too negative, and start replacing that with somebody who's like yourself. That's going to motivate you, going to, put you in a positive mindset and help you get through, get stronger, get faster, get leaner, get better. Right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're only as good as the company you keep.
Yeah.
Right. My dad used to say before, you can't fly like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys. And just think about what those people do for you. One of my uncles said to me one time, I was having a conversation with him about a family member of mine and their circle of friends, and he goes, well, ask them, the people that you hang out with, are they life-giving or are they life-sucking? Do they go with what you believe in or against it? And it hit me when he said that. Are they life-giving or life-sucking? When you're around them, do you feel positive or more positive after you leave them? Or do you feel drained? Like they just sucked your energy out of you,
Absolutely. Great point. All right, buddy. I'm going to wind this down. I've got appreciate your time. I've got
you too, man. Thanks a lot.
I got a couple of little segments I'm going to start injecting into some of these episodes just as like a fun way to close or a fun way to end. So I'm going to do this, give you a series of questions that are this or that. So it's just, I give you this or that and you choose. All right. Union, non-union.
Oh, union every day.
DeWalt
every
or
day.
Milwaukee?
Grew up union. Milwaukee.
Football or hockey?
Football.
Aerial or underground?
Oh, underground, baby.
Bucket or climbing spikes?
Climbing spikes, man. I'm horrible in a bucket operation, fam.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Hip hop or country?
Hip hop.
Car guy or truck guy?
I'm a truck guy now.
Nice. Early bird or night owl?
Early now.
All right. A few rapid fire questions. Just give like single word answers or just short answer. What's the most challenging aspect of being a lineman?
Egos.
Damn. Good one. What's the most important safety tip for linemen?
Double check.
What's the most interesting or unique thing you've seen on the job? You work in LA, so this got to be a good one.
I'm going to say breasts. Sorry, babe.
It happens. Damn, I want to know the rest of that story. What inspired you to become a lineman?
My uncle.
What's the most valuable tool in a lineman's toolkit?
Your conscience.
Going deep with that one. How do you stay motivated when working on a long project?
The pride. Pride at the end of it.
What's the most rewarding aspect of being a lineman?
Hearing the cheers when the lights come back on.
What's your favorite outdoor activity to do in your free time?
Hike.
What would you tell your apprentice self today?
Spend some more time at home.
Good call. Dude, you're going deep. You are a life coach. All right. Favorite food?
Mexican.
That's it, buddy. Thanks again. Thanks for coming on the show.
All right.
Wish you all the best, and I can't wait to talk to you again. We'll have to connect again soon. I got to talk to you.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Do it.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I love every conversation with Daniel. I hope you got some value out of that, and I just hope you really can truly. This helps change your life and the direction you're going in life, because it's hard. It's hard to do what we do every day, stay fit physically and mentally. So again, hope this helps. All right, if I could ask one thing from you guys, it's to get on social media and screenshot your favorite episode, maybe type something on there that you like, post that to your Instagram stories, and make sure you're tagging me in it. Also, if you can get onto whatever podcast platform you're listening to these episodes on, and make sure that you subscribe to it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, or you follow that. If it's on a podcast platform, make sure you're following. If it's on YouTube, please hit that subscribe, because it does help push these out to more and more people. And that's what it's about. Just helping guys and girls in our community get better. All right. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Peace.